relies on the thriving industries in the region, including the wolfberry or goji berry industry, the emerging wine industry, and also tourism industries. These thriving businesses have offered huge opportunities for the local people to get new jobs. So this has greatly contributed to the poverty alleviation in the region. As the local government has made great poverty relief efforts in recent years, the poverty population in the region has been reduced from around 1 million in 2011 to around 230,000 in 2017. And also, Ningxia has been actively engaged in the nation's Belt and Road initiatives. The most important event here is the China Arab States Expo, which is held here every year, and this great event has provided opportunities for both sides to achieve better cooperation and development. Back to you, Joyang.
And Hu Chao, we can hear lots of screaming and applause behind you. It sounds like the ceremony is really kind of kicking off there. What do you know about the events?
You know, the audience are shouting and waving their hands here. Today this stadium has around 20,000 local people. They are sitting at their audience seats and they are expecting all the performances here. And also, this stage is decorated very beautiful. On both sides of this stage are two mountains. On one side, the mountain symbolizes the Helan mountain in Ningxia, and on the other side, the mountain symbolizes the Liupan mountain in Ningxia. And that's all I have now, Jiaoyang.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for showing us the inside of the stadium. Thank you very much, Hu Chao, joining us from Yinchuan. Let's turn to our studio guest, Ms. He Wenping, a research fellow at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. Thank you for coming on our show. Now, we heard from our reporter there that this region has undergone some huge changes in the last 60 years, economically, socially. What explains? How is it that they could have made these achievements in these times?
Yeah, well, personally, I also traveled to Ningxia. When you visited the capital city of that autonomous region, you will see this is very modern cities. Couldn't see like this is a backward, like Western, located in the landlocked Western area. So it's developed very fast. So I think when we recall the past 60 years journey, this autonomous region has gone through, I think mainly there are three issues that have been handled very well. One is like, because it's poor normally, the desert. A lot of deserts are there. So one thing is they have to handle this environmental protection, how to develop the economy among those very poor those natural conditions. So one thing they have been handled very well, that is to develop those typical regional those economy. Like they choose those specific those products, like one county, one products. So they iced on those things and developed very good. And also like how to consolidate those set. This is desert. So you have to, first of all, plant those trees, plant those even economy. This is not only plant the trees, and those things can, one hand, can consolidate the set, and also can generate the economic results. So those are double function. And even those like developed railway, called from, the desert railway. This is unique technology, so it can improve the transportation and and also consolidate those sets. So this is environmental economy. Second is innovative strategy, innovative development strategy, because they are not only just based on those rural or agricultural those industry, they also develop a very high technical those industrial this technology. For example, there are quite a lot of those emerging high-tech industries based in Ningxia, some are in the capital city, some in the other those third-tier cities. So those are the innovative. The innovative, of course, I think they now get involved with this One Belt, One Road strategy. I think this will offer another huge chances, and for this Ningxia to have another access goes all the way to the Western, like Central European country, Central Asian country, Kazakhstan, those countries. So that will give them a further push for their economic development. So past, those background and then the new chances all together.
Well, since you mentioned the Belt and Road initiative, how has Ningxia played a role in all of this? How can it take advantage of this initiative?
Oh, they have been taking action in a very earlier stage. Belt and Road has been already 5 years, but since this Belt and Road has been initiated like in the earlier 2013, I think Ningxia has been already taking action. For example, they organized the biggest expo, invited those companies from those Central Asia countries. And because Ningxia also make full use their advantage, that is the Muslim population there, so you can develop those tourist industry and also those those food, because those Muslim food they have a very strict standard. They have to be goes to the origin, to be clean, and so those things I think offer them a lot of platform and market for their future, food industry, agriculture, this value added, these agricultural products, and also those innovative technical know-how. Now they got the market because with One Belt, One Road, which means offers you access to go to another those big market extended all the way from our Western China all the way to not only Central Asia and even goes to the European countries, but they are serving as also cultural link, because as Muslim people, they also have their, the festival. They have their religion. So they have shared some culture, religion. So this can be served as a culture center as well, linking Chinese Muslim population and with the vast, the largest Muslim countries to the West.
All right. Well, we'll continue our discussion in a moment. Let's take a closer look at Ningxia. We're situated about 1,000 kilometers from Beijing. This region is about 4 times as large as the capital city, with the nation's 3rd smallest GDP. However, thanks to its geography, Ningxia has become one of the world's top regions for growing wine grapes. Let's hear from our reporter Hu Chao on this story and how it has helped Ningxia's economy.
26-year-old Yuan Yuan is the youngest chateau owner in the Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region. She took over the wine business from her father 3 years ago after graduating from university. Her chateau, Zhihui Yuanshi, was built 10 years ago and now produces more than 100,000 bottles of wine a year.
My father handed the chateau over to me because he believes that the wine industry belongs to young people and I can bring more vigor to our company.
Young and vigorous Yuan Yuan is part of a wine industry in Ningxia that has flourished after a decade of fast development. Now there are 86 established chateaus and more than 100 under construction. The region's total grape planting area is now up to 380 square kilometers, the largest in China. Thanks to their outstanding quality, wines produced here have won more than 500 awards both at home and abroad. But it's not just the ideal geography helping the industry thrive. The local government has also offered great support.
In 2011, Ningxia became the first region in China to set up a government bureau for wine industry development. It also launched the nation's first protective regulations for wine production areas, legally supporting the development of wine industry in the region.
The government office was set up to promote development of the wine industry. It protects the environment to ensure the quality of the grapes and regulates the construction of chateaux, and also it supervises wine production and ensures good quality.
Now, Ningxia's wine industry produces 120 million bottles of wine a year, valued at around 20 billion yuan. The industry has created over 100,000 jobs, helping many nearby villagers to rise above poverty. And young chateau owners like Yuan Yuan hope more people can benefit from the wine industry.
I hope my chateau can have sustainable development and help more villagers make more money by planting grapes and attracting tourists.
胡超 CGTN 银川宁夏回 Autonomous Region.
Ningxia is an autonomous region in China located in the country's northwest. The region is bordered by Shanxi to the east, Gansu to the south and west, and also the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region to the north. It has an area over 66,000 square kilometers. It was separated from the province of Gansu in 1958 and was constituted as an autonomous region for the Hui people, which is a predominantly Muslim ethnic minority and also one of China's largest. A full 20% of China's Hui population lives in Ningxia alongside many other ethnic groups, each with their own cultural traditions. This sparsely settled, mostly desert region lies partially on the lower plateau and in the vast plain of the Yellow River drainage basin. Over the years, an extensive system of canals has been built, which, along with extensive land reclamation and irrigation projects, have helped make the arid region bloom. Let's turn back to our guest. Ms. He, now, we heard there about Ningxia and its kind of population, its demographics, and there's this, it represents the Hui ethnic group that lives there represents a significant portion of the population. What has the local government done to ensure its religious freedom?
Yeah, this is another key, for maintaining Ningxia's stability and also economic development. That is called national, the regional national ethnic this policy. Because in China we have 56 different national ethnic groups. Han people cost majority, above like 90, maybe 97% above. But for those 55, those minority ethnic groups, so some of them they scattered in different provinces, but some leading one, like this Hui people, they are concentrated living in some area. So that's why we have those called autonomous region. So they have been enjoying higher those autonomy. They can make their own like some provincial level this development strategy, and also make their own relevant law passed by them. So those are higher the autonomy I think can offer those people living there. In countryside, there's a minority, but in that autonomy area, they are the majority. Those relatively speaking. So this kind of policy now has been introduced ever since the People's Republic of China has been established, even in the Mao's time. So it has been all the way now followed consistent until today. So it has been proved this very successful one, because now China. People in Tibet, like in Ningxia, or like in Guangxi, there's Zhuang people are there. No people regarded themselves as like I am the Zhuang people, I am the Hui people there. First of all, they regarded themselves as Chinese. This national identity has been built on very well. And secondly, they have their own like tradition, religions. All those traditions, religions, culture will be respected. And also will be consistent there. So this is a policy I think combining. One is national identity, another is
Well, thank you for that. We're going to go live to the scene now of that ceremony venue.
Mr. Wang Yang, the head of Central Delegation, and also distinguished deputy heads of the delegation and the delegation members. Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region's 60th anniversary is being celebrated. Please all rise up. Let's raise the national flag and sing national anthem. Please take your seats. Distinguished guests, dear comrades and friends, today we are gathering here to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region. The CPC Central Committee attaches great importance to the celebrations of the 60th anniversary. The Standing Committee of the Political Bureau of CPC Central Committee and also Chairman of CPPCC, Mr. Wang Yang, is leading the Central Delegation with the concern of Xi Jinping, the General Secretary of PRC, for Ningxia's people. In order to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region with all ethnicities, this is a full demonstration of the CPC Central Committee's concern for ethnicities in Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region. Firstly, please allow me to introduce to you the leaders of the Central Delegation. Member of the Standing Committee of Political Bureau of CPC Central Committee and Chairman of CPPCC, Head of the Central Delegation, Mr. Wang Yang. Member of the Political Bureau of CPC Central Committee and also Vice Premier of State Council, Vice Head of the Central Delegation, Madame Sun Chunlan. From the Secretariat of the Central Committee and the Minister of United Front Work Department, Vice Head of the Central Delegation and Secretary, Mr. You Quan. Vice Chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress and Vice Head of the Delegation, Mr. Cao Jianming. Vice Chairman of CPPCC and Vice Minister of United Front Work Department and Party Secretary and Head of the State Ethnic Affairs Committee, Mr. Bater. Member of the Central Military Commission and the Director of the Department of Political Affairs of the Commission and the Vice Head of the Delegation, Miao Hua. Also with us, we have the other members of the Central Delegation. They are the relevant comrades and leaders from the central national agencies, from the Western China's war zones, the Armed Police Force, and also the leaders from Fujian, Inner Mongolia, Guangxi Autonomous Region, Tibet, and Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. Now let's give our warmest welcome to all of those members of the Central Delegation, led by Mr. Wang Yang. And also let's give our sincere thanks to the members. Also, the attendees of the celebration today include the leaders above the deputy prefecture level in the Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region and retirees of the region, as well as friends and people from all circles of lives. Now, let's give the floor to the member of the Political Bureau of CPC Central Committee and Vice Prime Minister of the State Council and Vice Head of the Central Delegation, Madame Sun Chunlan, to declare and read the congratulations message of the Standing Committee of NPC, the CPC Central Committee, CPPCC, and Central Military Commission. Welcome.
中共中央、全国人大常委会、国务院、
The State Council, Standing Committee of NPC, Central Military Commission, sent their congratulation message to Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region for its 60th anniversary. The Committee of Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region, the Standing Committee of Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region's People's Congress, and the Regional People's Government, the Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region's Political Consultative Conference, and military zones. On the occasion of the 60th anniversary of Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region's founding, the CPC Central Committee, the Standing Committee of NPC, State Council, CPPCC, and Central Military Commission are now giving our warmest congratulations and greetings to all people of Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region and people from all circles of lives, and also to the PLA commanders and officers in Ningxia, and also our armed police officers and public security leaders. And also we send our greetings to all of those friends who have always been supportive and concerned of Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region's development. Six decades ago, Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region was founded. That was a fruitful result of our Communist Party's ethnic policy, and also it represented a milestone of our national ethnic relationship. It opened a new historical chapter of Ningxia development. Over the past 60 years, particularly since reform and opening up, Ningxia has witnessed historical transformations. We have seen rapid and continued economic development, upgraded infrastructure, comprehensive advancement of all social undertakings, and a great improvement of people's daily livelihood. And also we are seeing oncoming poverty eradication and harmonious and stable society. Ningxia's ecological and environmental protection has been stepped up. It serves as the ecological safety barrier of northwestern China, and the system of regional national autonomy has been continuously improved. People of all ethnicities become the masters of their own lives, and we are seeing more in-depth integration and interaction between different ethnicities. Also, the freedom of religion has been fully safeguarded. The sense of a community of the People's Republic of China has been cemented. The Communist Party's development has been enhanced with the basis of our governance better consolidated. Today's Ningxia exhibits a pleasant and prosperous atmosphere with clean government and booming economy, with all people of various ethnicities joining hands together and coming to each other's help to realize a moderately prosperous society and socialism with Chinese characteristics. We have been on the same boat in the past 6 decades, and we have experienced the different seasons of all the years. The 60 years of remarkable achievements is hard-won in Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region, leaving us a lot of precious legacies. This is the result of the leadership of CPC Central Committee and the State Council, and also the result of the unyielding efforts and the leadership of the Party Committee of the Autonomous Region and the People's Government. And also it is the result of the support of people in China. Practice has proven that only when we are committed to the leadership of CPC Central Committee and socialism with Chinese characteristics, the system of regional national autonomy, and the sense of community of People's Republic of China, can we realize development of Ningxia, and can we realize equality, unity, mutual help, harmony, and common prosperity of all ethnicities. Socialism with Chinese characteristics has entered a new era. Ningxia is standing at the new historical front with the other places in China. In the new era, we need to showcase a new landscape and some new endeavors. To speed up Ningxia's economic and social development, safeguard ethnic solidarity, and harmonious religious development, is the fundamental interest of people of Ningxia ethnicities. It is also the common aspiration of the CPC Central Committee and people of all ethnicities in China. The CPC and national government has always been paying close attention to Ningxia's development and also very concerned about the cadres and people of Ningxia ethnicities. Particularly in 2016, when General Secretary Xi Jinping paid his visit in Ningxia and delivered instructions offering Ningxia's development some very important principles to observe. We hope that all people here in Ningxia would always hold high the banner of socialism with Chinese characteristics, as well as Deng Xiaoping theory, three representatives, scientific approach to development, and the socialism with Chinese characteristics proposed by General Secretary Xi Jinping, as well as with the spirits of the second plenary session of the 19th Central Committee of CPC. We must also bear in mind the four awarenesses, four confidences, and be committed to the core status of General Secretary Xi Jinping, as well as the authority of CPC Central Committee and the collective leadership. We must follow the arrangements and instructions of the State Council and CPC Central Committee to realize economic prosperity, national solidarity, beautiful environment, and common prosperity in order to enter into the moderately prosperous society in an all-round way together with the whole nation, and realizing the two centenary goals as well as the China dream of great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. The PLA in Ningxia, the armed police officers, as well as the forces of public security, are the major forces protecting the social stability in Ningxia and the nation. We must remain true to our missions and never fail our commitment to the people, and carry on our fine traditions and working styles in order to better promote ethnic solidarity, cement unity between different police forces, and make new contributions to reform and development and stability of Ningxia. Now let's more closely unite under the leadership of CPC Central Committee with Xi Jinping as its core. With one mind, let's get ourselves together and pioneer with innovative spirits in order to embrace a better future for Ningxia. I hope that Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region would enjoy long-lasting prosperity, and I hope that the people of all ethnicities in Ningxia would enjoy health and happiness, and long live the great solidarity of all ethnicities in China. The Standing Committee of NPC, the CPPCC, the State Council, the Central Military Commission has given the message on September the 20th, 2018. Now let's give our warmest welcome to the member of Standing Committee of Political Bureau of CPC Central Committee, Chairman of CPPCC, and Head of the Central Delegation, Mr. Wang Yang. Dear comrades and friends, in this beautiful autumn season with mellow fruits and flowers, I am pleased to be entrusted by the CPC Central Committee and the General Secretary Xi Jinping and take the best wishes of people of all ethnicities in China to come to the beautiful Yinchuan city in order to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region. Firstly, On behalf of the CPC Central Committee, the Standing Committee of the NPC, the State Council, the NPC Central Military Commission, I would love to extend our warmest congratulations to the Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region, and also our greetings to the 6.8 million people here in Ningxia. Ningxia is a treasured land in western China. Over the past thousands of years, various ethnicities have been settling down and prospering here. They have been interacting and integrating to build the beautiful place beyond the Great Wall with abundance. They have created the splendid culture of inclusiveness. In 1958, with the guidance of the CPC Central Committee and the ethnic policies of the CPC, Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region was officially founded, signaling a new era of Ningxia with high autonomy and unprecedented solidarity. In the past 6 decades, Ningxia's economic growth has been leapfrogging. In 1958, the regional output was only over 300 million RMB yuan, while last year that figure was over 340 billion RMB yuan, with an annual growth rate of 9.4% above national average. When we were firstly liberated, the Ningxia's industry was nothing but a white canvas with only one flour factory, without any railways or bridge over the hundreds of kilometers of Yellow River. By contrast, Ningxia, as of today, enjoys 34,000 kilometers of roads, 1,300 kilometers of railways, and 19 bridges over Yellow River. We have struck a balance between the 3 industries, with per capita green output ranking among the top nationwide. We also have seen complete sets of industries and accelerated development of modern service industry. We have seen the emergence of the Yinchuan metropolitan area and the beautiful villages scattered all over the province. At the foot of Helan Mountain and on the 2 banks of Yellow River, we are seeing a pleasant, fresh look here. Over the past 6 decades, Ningxia people has greatly improved their livelihood. In the early years of our founding, 80% of the local population were gripped by poverty. Particularly Xiji, Haiyuan, and Guyuan region was known for its poverty. But now the per capita income in urban areas was approaching 30,000, while that of rural residents exceeded 10,000 RMB yuan. The admission ratio of all levels of education and a contribution ratio of medical and health care have overtaken the national average. The insurance of severe illnesses for urban and rural residents have realized full coverage. Internet plus education and internet plus healthcare have been on the rise. Ethnic culture has been prospering as well, with clay sculpture, paper cutting, and other intangible cultural heritages showcasing their splendidness. Over the past 6 decades, Ningxia's ecological environment has showcased significant changes. In the past, we were blanketed with the sands, which blinded our way, and we could only find our way out by listening to the camel bell. But after years of continuous efforts, we have reversed the desertification trend in Ningxia. Forests coverage ratio was greatly improved from 1.5% in 1958 to 14%. The Ningxia section of Yellow River's mainstream have, for the first time, realized a water quality at Class 2 level for 9 consecutive months in the past 22 years. This land area has seen a great reversal from showing yellow color to green color. And also, we're seeing picturesque landscape in Liupan Mountain that is a vivid mirror of the beautiful Ningxia now. Over the past 6 decades, Ningxia has enjoyed stable and harmonious social environment. The party's ethnic policy has been fully implemented. Han cannot be separated from minority ethnicities and vice versa. All sorts of minority ethnicities cannot be separated. Ethnic solidarity has being sustained, and also the freedom of religion has been safeguarded with the Chinese characteristics. The mainstream has been echoed a lot in China, saying that only when we have a united country can have a home, and also we must uphold patriotism while believing in religion. Since the 18th National Congress, with the leadership of CPC Central Committee, the autonomous region has been making tremendous efforts and conquered a lot of difficulties to make new historical achievements of modernization and reform and opening up. We have exhibited the largest landscape changes in urban and rural areas and the highest quality development and the most tangible benefits delivered to people here. In 2016, General Secretary Xi Jinping paid visits to Ningxia, showcasing the high attention of the national government to the autonomous region. In the past 5 years, the central financial budget has been paying the transfer payment to Ningxia with an annual growth rate of 11%. The ratio and the level of the general transfer payment, as well as ethnic-related transfer payment and ecological functional areas transfer payment, have been above the national average level. Even though we are witnessing complicated situation in China and abroad, Ningxia's economy has maintained rapid growth momentum. The per capita output has exceeded 50,000 RMB yuan for the first time, with upgraded economic structure and 58% of urbanization. Service industry has exceeded industry to become the largest industry category. Wuzhong to Zhongwei Rail Transit, Yingxi High-Speed Railway, Zhonglan High-Speed Railway, and Boying High-Speed Railway have been under construction. The era of high-speed railway long aspired by Ningxia people will be around the corner. Also, we have made decisive achievements in poverty alleviation. For 5 years, we have reduced about 720,000 people living below the poverty line. And also, the poverty incidence ratio have been lowered to 6% from the previous 22.9%. 3/4 of our poor people have been gotten rid of poverty, and also 1.13 million people living in the mountainous areas have access to drinkable water. We have also eradicated the past history of people warming themselves around the furnaces. People have gained a higher sense of happiness and attainment. They're all marching toward the goal of building a moderately prosperous society in an all-round way. The past 60 years of remarkable achievements is the result of the leadership of CPC Central Committee and joint efforts of all leaders and people in Ningxia, and also the result of the support of the nation as a whole. For the people who have first-hand experience of the leapfrogging development of Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region, and all people from different circles of lives supportive of Ningxia's reform and development are reasoned to be proud of it. Dear comrades and friends, Now, socialism with Chinese characteristics has entered a new era. The long-suffering Chinese nation has finally been emerging and enriching and strengthening itself. The modernization development in Ningxia is also standing at the new historical point. We must fully implement the socialism with Chinese characteristics and the spirits of the 19th National Congress to cement our four awarenesses, four confidences, listen to the call of the times, and play along with people's aspirations in order to realize prosperity, unity of ethnicity, beautiful environment, and people's wellness, so that Ningxia would build a moderately prosperous society with the other regions in China at the same time. We must remain committed to the party's leadership. CPC's leadership is the choice of history and people. It is where the interests and happiness of all ethnicities lie. Thanks to the leadership of the CPC, China could end the phenomena of about 500 million people being displaced, and thus we could enjoy prosperity and harmony. Thanks to the leadership of the CPC, Ningxia could abandon the past outright poverty and realize prosperity and development. Once we are committed to the CPC leadership, no one and no political forces could provoke the relationship of all ethnicities in China, and no difficulty and hardship could be an obstacle of the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. We must safeguard the core status of General Secretary Xi Jinping, the authority of CPC Central Committee, and its collective leadership. Ideologically, politically, we must remain allied with the CPC Central Committee, just as in actions, to guarantee that all instructions and policies and strategies would be fully implemented, and also the CPC would always be the backbone of all ethnicities in China. We must also follow the path of socialism with Chinese characteristics. Socialism with Chinese characteristics is the direction of modern China's development. It is also a necessary road for all ethnicities to be their own masters. Only when we follow down the path of socialism with Chinese characteristics can we enrich, develop, and rejuvenate all ethnicities. Developing socialism with Chinese characteristics must be integrated into all major strategies, policies, arrangements, tasks, and all practices. We must maximize the wisdom of all ethnicities, unite all forces within our reach, and we must also give full play to the advantage of socialism that could make big things happen with collective forces. And we also must enjoy common prosperity by allowing some people to grow rich first and then helping the others. We must allow all people to feel the warmth of socialism. Today's development achievements of Ningxia is indispensable from the tremendous support of the national government and all regions in China. In the future, we would only see an increase of such support. We must always safeguard national unity. China is a nation with multiple ethnicities, and national unity is the highest interest and common aspiration of all people. All of those ethnic autonomous regions are under the leadership of CPC and belong to the People's Republic of China, as well as the common people of all ethnicities, and various ethnicities must ally their own destiny with the destiny of the Chinese nation. Can we enjoy hope and potential? We must develop patriotism education and build a patriotic united front. We must stand against all separatist actions as well as those endeavors to separate China in the name of ethnicity, religion, or human rights. We must always protect equality of all ethnicities. Ethnic equality is the basis of our party's ethnic policy. It is also a basic principle in our constitution. No ethnicity is superior to the others, and no ethnicity shall enjoy privilege over the others. The legal rights of any ethnicities must not be constrained and limited. We must legally protect equal rights of all ethnicities as well as their equal obligations to guarantee that we have comprehensive, genuine, and thorough equality. The Han chauvinism must not be taken, and narrow nationalism must also be abandoned. We cannot regard the less developed ethnic regions as our burden, and also we cannot dispel our ethnic common people as outsiders. We must keep improving the system of regional autonomy. The system of regional autonomy is deep-rooted in China's history and tradition. It is consistent with the basic national condition of China as a united nation with multiple ethnicities. It is conducive to combining our national policies strategies with the real conditions of different autonomous regions. And also we must consider the people's love for their nation and for their own ethnicity. This is a pioneering effort of our party and all people in China. The system, as a basic political system, must remain unchanged. Instead, it must be further developed in practices. For the detailed policies, measures, and efforts, they must keep pace with the times in order to combine unity and autonomy, ethnic factors and regional factors, so that the advantage of the system would be fully tapped. We must always guarantee united efforts and common prosperity of all ethnicities. Today's solidarity, stability, and prosperity in Ningxia is co-created of all ethnicities. For Ningxia to create more extraordinary achievements tomorrow, it must rely on the common efforts of all ethnicities as well. We must take ethnic unity as the lifeline and keep building some efforts around ethnic solidarity so that all ethnicities must join hands together and come to each other's rescue. And also development must be regarded as the top priority of solving all problems. We must make steady progress, implement new development concepts, and consider the changes of our major social conflicts in reform and opening up and pursuit of high-quality development. We must build a moderately prosperous society in our round way, and to that end, the ethnic regions usually are the loopholes, and they are also our pain points and highlights. So we must be people-oriented to pursue interests for the people and answer their questions in order to fight the battle of poverty alleviation and allow reform and opening up to deliver more benefits to all ethnicities. We must guarantee that no person of minority ethnicities and no ethnic region would be left behind. We must always have the ideology and awareness of a community of the PRC. The awareness and sense of community of PRC is the intellectual bond for our ethnic solidarity and unity. It is the spiritual driver of the Chinese nation's development. So all leaders and people must build correct concept of nation, history, and ethnicity. We must increase our sense of identity to our great nation, the Chinese Chinese nation, the Chinese civilization, the CPC, and socialism with Chinese characteristics. Without such sense of identity, no system would be stable and no governance method would be effective. Cultural identity is the deepest identity. For those efforts, equalizing Han culture with the Chinese civilization and contradicting the ethnic culture against the Chinese civilization are wrong efforts. We must avoid those trends. We must respect differences, be inclusive, and enhance interaction and communication of all ethnicities in order to build a society of common living, collective learning, living, working, and also different ethnicities are just like the pomegranate. We must also uphold the rule of law. Once we have laws executed, the nation would be well governed. If the laws are loosened, then our nation would be in a disorder. Only when we are faithful to the laws can all ethnicities work with accordance with the laws, and can we have ethnic solidarity. So all leaders must cement their legal awareness and come to realize that everyone is equal in front of laws and no one enjoys the privilege of going beyond the laws. You must also solve the problems according to their nature and avoid sticking labels of ethnicity. For those few criminals who have intentionally provoked and worsened our ethnic relationships, no matter what are their ethnic or religious backgrounds, we must crack down upon them so that the rule of law could safeguard ethnic solidarity. Dear comrades and friends, looking back, Ningxia has gone down extraordinary pathways. And looking into the future, Ningxia's reform and opening up and development will enjoy brighter future. Let us work under the leadership of a CPC Central Committee with General Secretary Xi Jinping as its core and carry on the spirit of one who fails to reach the Great Wall is not a hero. Let's echo the call of President Xi Jinping, who said that socialism must be done with real deeds. And let's work with one mind in order to contribute to building a beautiful Ningxia and realizing the great Chinese dream. Now let's give the floor to Party Secretary of Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region, Mr. Shi Taifeng, to deliver his remarks. Distinguished Chairman Wang Yang and all leaders and comrades from the Central Delegation, dear friends, today, we are gathering here to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region. The CPC Central Committee, the Standing Committee of NPC, State Council, CPPCC, Central Military Commission have specially sent their congratulation message. General Secretary Xi Jinping has also given his words for the 60th anniversary of building a beautiful Ningxia to realize the great Chinese dream. Those words fully demonstrate that the CPC Central Committee attaches great importance to Ningxia. Ningxia's 6.8 million population are deeply encouraged and inspired. The Standing Committee of the Political Bureau and Chairman of CPPCC, Mr. Wang Yang, lead the central delegation to visit Ningxia, bringing with them the best wishes and concerns of CPC Central Committee with General Secretary Xi Jinping as its core. Here, on behalf of the Autonomous Regions Party Committee, the People's Congress, People's Government, and People's Consultative Conference, as well as all people in Ningxia, to give our sincere gratitude to CPC Central Committee and to the guests and friends, as well as the delegation members, our warmest welcome to you all. To the cadres and people from all circles of lives in the autonomous region, and to the commanders, the armed police officers, public security officers, and also our greetings to you all. To those people who have been supporting Ningxia's development and reform, like those retired veterans and leaders, as well as those people who have always been concerned with Ningxia's development, we want to pay our sincere thanks to you. On October 25, 1958, under the leadership of CPC, Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region was founded, opening a new chapter for Ningxia's development. Over the past 6 decades, particularly the 4 decades since reform and opening up, people in Ningxia has always followed the direction of the CPC. We unite together and make joint efforts to realize common prosperity. We have opened a new chapter for reform, opening up, and modernization. Since the 18th National Congress, under the leadership of CPC Central Committee with General Secretary Xi Jinping as its core, people of Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region have been implementing the socialism with Chinese characteristics proposed by President Xi Jinping. We have also been executing the spirits of many speeches and instructions of General Secretary Xi Jinping during his visit to Ningxia. We have been marching forward along the path of socialism with Chinese characteristics. We are seeing overall development of all undertakings in Ningxia with historic achievements and transformations, such a new Ningxia with economic prosperity, ethnic solidarity, beautiful environment, and people's well-being is being experienced by all people. Those achievements are thanks to the leadership of CPC Central Committee with President Xi Jinping as its core, as well as the guidance of socialism with Chinese characteristics in the new era. We must follow such correct political direction and follow the instruction of the CPC. We will remain committed to the CPC's leadership and enhance our 4 awarenesses and 4 confidences. We must hold high the banner of being politically right, looking at the big picture, and following and observing disciplines. We must also follow any instruction of the CPC, and also our awareness and ideologies must also follow those of the CPC. Those instructions must be implemented in all fields of Ningxia. We must also protect the core status of General Secretary Xi Jinping, as well as the authority of CPC and its collective leadership. The political leadership of the party, as well as its call of the society, have been fully demonstrated in Ningxia. People of all ethnicities of Ningxia have always been grateful to the party, and the Communist Party of China is very close to the local people here, just like they share a very similar bond to the Yellow River. We must also follow the path of solving the ethnic problems with Chinese characteristics, to have harmony and development of all ethnicities. We must always give top priority to the party and national undertakings and benefiting the people of all ethnicities. In our implementation of the ethnic policies, the system of regional autonomy, the education of solidarity of ethnicities, we must also boost communication of all ethnicities in order to further cement our socialist relationship of ethnicities featured by equality, unity, mutual help, and harmony. People of Ningxia have treasured ethnic unity just like they treasure the people's lives. They are joining hands together just like the pomegranate. They are a community of shared future, and the sense of community has been deeply rooted in their DNA. The ideologies of three inseparables are also deep-rooted. We have a very vivid landscape of Hui and Han ethnicities, just like a big family. We also must follow the new development concepts in order to maintain the good momentum of sound economic growth. Looking at the actual conditions of less development in Ningxia, we must emancipate the productive forces and also reform our socialist market economy, as well as the supply-side structural reform. We must also implement the innovative-driven strategy, ecologically civilization development strategy, as well as deepening reform, opening wider to accelerate the upgrading of our industry and accelerate the ecological civilization development, public infrastructure development in order to reform our economic quality, efficiency, and drivers. We must also come to a new level of transformative development with new outlooks of urban and rural areas. As latecomers, we will walk longer with stronger driving forces. We are resolutely working towards the goal of high-quality development. We must also be people-oriented and keep enhancing the local people's sense of happiness and attainment and security. People's aspiration of a beautiful life must be taken as the starting point of all our work. We must always work together with the common people and implement the strategy of poverty alleviation to enrich the local people. We must also promote education, technology, health, and cultural development. We must guarantee the basic fundamentals and people's livelihood. We must also enhance the rule of law and social governance innovation. Poverty alleviation has already gained some decisive achievements, with urban and rural residents enjoying steady increase of income, and they are also seeing stable and harmonious society, and people are enjoying a beautiful life. We must remain true to the philosophy that socialism is done with deeds. We must create a beautiful life with high spirits. Ningxia people always bear in mind the instruction of President Xi Jinping, who said that socialism is done with real deeds. We are voluntarily becoming the pioneers of the new era. We will not wait for things to happen. We will not rely on the others. We are working around the clock in order to roll up our sleeves for good results. The cadres and the local people are also working together with joint efforts, just like the different industries. So on this land of Ningxia, everyone has been toiling day and night and innovating with pioneering efforts. We have already seen some tangible results that deliver real benefits to the common people and build cohesion of the common people. Now, all cadres and people of the region are mobilized with more aspiration and hope for a better future of Ningxia and better lives for themselves. 60 years have gone by. We have seen great transformations. Over the past 6 decades, Ningxia has gained extraordinary achievements. That is the great victory of socialism with Chinese characteristics in Ningxia. It is also the successful practice of our party's ethnic policy and the system of regional autonomy. Those achievements are the results of the leadership of CPC, as well as the great support of all ministries and national agencies and the other provinces and municipalities in China, together with the common efforts of people of all ethnicities in China under the leadership of the party committee and people's government. At this moment, we have a deep awareness that the party's leadership is the fundamental guarantee of all undertakings, and ethnic solidarity is the lifeline of all people. No matter what are the changes outside or what are the difficulties, or what are the challenges we are facing, we must always be committed to the leadership of the CPC and also uphold the principles of two safeguards, follow the socialism with Chinese characteristics, as well as our party's ethnic policy and system of regional autonomy. Only with that can we blaze a new trail for the better future of Ningxia. Distinguished leaders, comrades, dear friends, standing at this new starting point, we are walking down a new course. General Secretary Xi Jinping has given his inscriptions of building a beautiful Ningxia to realize the great Chinese dream. That is a mirror of the best wishes for Ningxia. He has pointed out our future direction. He has pictured our blueprint. He has also raised higher requirements. We must keep enhancing our four awarenesses and observe the four confidences. We must follow the direction of the party and implement the socialism with Chinese characteristics raised by President Xi Jinping in the new era, as well as his spirits of the 19th National Congress. As to political positioning, political direction, and political principles and pathways, we must always stand in the same place with the CPC Central Committee, with President Xi Jinping as its core. We must always work towards the direction pointed out by the CPC. We must also implement the new development concepts and meet people's aspirations for a better life. We must fight the three battles and implement innovation-driven strategy, poverty alleviation, and ecological civilization strategy. We must step up transformative development, innovative development, high-quality development to keep guaranteeing and improving people's livelihood so that the results of reform and development would be delivered more to people of all ethnicities in an equal way. We must also hold high the banner of ethnic unity by implementing the party's ethnic policies and the system of regional autonomy. We must aggressively promote the development of solidarity and cement the awareness and sense of community. All people of Ningxia ethnicities must all surround the leadership of the CPC so that the flower of ethnic solidarity will always be in a boom in Ningxia. We must always be highly mobilized. We will not slack or stop our efforts or being complacent. We must lead all cages and people of all ethnicities in the region to get ourselves together and showcase positive energy with some new achievements. We must make solid efforts and catch up with the other places. We must be down to earth and walk along the new march. We must all strive to bring some new outlooks to Ningxia. Let us more closely unite with the leadership of CPC Central Committee with President Xi Jinping as its core. We must hold high the banner of socialism with Chinese characteristics. Let's remain true to our initial mission, bear in mind our commitment, get ourselves together, and make solid efforts to have economic prosperity, ethnic solidarity, beautiful environment, and people's well-being, so that we could build a moderately prosperous society in an all-round way together with the other provinces in China. Let us work together for a beautiful Ningxia and the great Chinese dream. I wish that our great nation will prosper. I wish people of all ethnicities in Ningxia will enjoy happy lives, and I wish that Ningxia will have a better future.
There we have it, speeches from central and local officials marking this 60th anniversary of the region's establishment. Ms. He, just if you could just wrap up for us, what are some of the notable points that you heard from those speeches, some of the key messages for the region from these leaders?
Yeah, quite impressive, I should say. I think one key message is the Ningxia's achievements in the past 60 years, I think has been done through all those, the efforts, not only by Ningxia people and also from all other, those help coming from central government and also coming from other provincial, broad provincial, those governments. For example, central government has transferred a lot of those additional budget to support Ningxia development, and also Ningxia has been partner with other provincial government together. For example, Fujian is partner with Ningxia. So Fujian business person has been invested a lot in Ningxia to start off this business. So as many as like in the past 5 years, as many as like 80,000 those companies has been invested from Fujian business person. So this has been done in a joint way. So that's called the build the community of those Chinese, this identity. And the second is, I think, the ecological, those environment-friendly development approach is also very much important. Yes, Ningxia actually is set up as example for all the Chinese other provinces to follow, because Ningxia they started from a very poor condition. The desert is there, but even this kind of autonomy, they can develop themselves from this very poor condition. Why not others? So we think this is give us a very good this idea.